Satire. It's a useful tool that's been around forever. It's closely related to parody and in fact can often be both. Good satire is generally amusing while also making a point. But satire, and particularly full-on parody, can also wind up indistinguishable from the real thing it's making fun of. This is especially true of more subtle forms mocking extremism. Subtle satire can easily be presented the same way as sincere belief would, and extremist views can often be so absurd that it's impossible to create a parody even more ridiculous than the real view. In essence, this is where we get Poe's law. I would like to demonstrate how real satire piece claiming liberals want a white ethnostate is itself such an example, virtually indistinguishable to an outsider without disclaimers from things promoted and loved right here on YouTube, and perhaps even things he's said himself.
The world has flipped upside down, but the left swears that the dining room table isn't somehow on the ceiling. This overt racism extends beyond frivolous music festivals. It is being fostered within the halls and offices occupied by people who might impact legislative branches of the government. This line of thinking, the demonization of white men and women, is growing more pervasive with each day. This philosophy of intrinsic racial privilege, of invisible systems of oppression, of white supremacy, is being steadily conditioned into the populace.
Not true. Actually, the opposite. Hatred of white people is mainstream, it seems, in the media, in academia, in entertainment, in the workplace, right?
Because the truth is that the left has been normalizing radical, toxic, and diluted ideals without repercussion within every available agent of socialization. They see mutually accepted social norms surrounding gender, obesity, marriage, among many other things, as harmful in their current existence. Therefore, they must be deconstructed. But no other exhaustive effort to eradicate established ethics has been as extreme as their zealous racism.
This, of course, triggered a response from the alt-left, the SJW left, who obviously weren't amused by this and took it as hateful. I find this extremely irritating, not because they put these signs up, but because of the reaction. You see, neo-Marxists, the left basically, have been painting white people, specifically white men, white straight men, as the bourgeoisie and everybody else has been oppressed by them.
Let us define the problem through the leftist perspective. Society is built on an oppressive white supremacist system. White supremacy is actively marginalizing women, people of color, queer identifying people, fat people, the differently abled, and so on. The continued existence of white people perpetuates white supremacy in Western society.
The left's view is that America was founded by rich white males who were intent on protecting their race, their wealth, and in many cases, their slaves. America was and remains sexist, intolerant, xenophobic, and bigoted.
On the college campus today, feelings rule facts and victims are heroes. According to the left, all inequality in America is due to victimization. They start by claiming that all non-white people in America are victims of white privilege. In short, everyone's a victim, except, of course, straight white males. Also, anybody who dares to disagree with the left. If you're guilty of either of those crimes, you must be confronted, even if doing so requires actual aggression, like, say, a riot.
Let us honestly consider a logical solution to this issue. The only reasonable conclusion that I can arrive at is the universal removal and relocation of all white people on the planet to their own separate ethnic nation-state.
Okay, no, I think it should be my ideal society would be a white ethnostate where the schools are made up of blonde-haired, blue-eyed, red-haired, green-eyed, whatever mixture we have, children.
This is why discussions about something as hitherto inconceivable as white nationalism is on the rise. I think I can understand certain perspectives where people say, well, if we're so terrible as white people, we should really leave you all alone, right? We should just withdraw ourselves to our own areas and we should just separate. because this is not working.
Despite a liberal monopoly on education, years of social activism, and constant conditioning through media campaigns, a man like Donald Trump was elected to the highest office in the free world.
The problem is it goes much deeper than you would think. So it's going all the way even to Visa and MasterCard are banning businesses, they're banning conservative individuals, alternative tech companies. So not only do we see a monopoly with these tech companies, but they're not allowing conservative alternatives to get in.
That's amazing.
Consider the stranglehold that they have maintained over society during the last decade. With the seemingly limitless resources of entertainment, media, marketing, campaigns, and higher academia reinforcing them, this effort has been overwhelmingly successful. You know that everything I'm saying is true, that this is the only way. Don't deny it. You want this. Admit it.
And finally, allow me to read, for anyone who may not be watching, a couple actual comments. Some really salty people in the comments section aren't getting it, real steel-manning the leftist argument and creating satire. With all due respect, I think you missed an option. Murder all whites. Relocating whites to their own ethnostate is a humane way to eliminate all racism of whites on others, but if you consider inhumane options, then a Holocaust would also be viable. And to be quite frank, I do believe that leftists are more in favor of that than your idea. I think they do not want whites anywhere. And by teaching whites not to breed and convincing people of color to breed quickly, they are literally engaging in the behavior they are accused of by conspiracy theorists that claim there is an active white genocide going on. So, as you can see, satire or not, nothing in this video actually is beyond what some people truly believe, even limited just to what can be found here on YouTube. There are people out there who propose such a state, though they're far from the majority of those who believe the rest of what's stated in this video. But people do believe, or at least state, many of these things. That the left is in control of everything. That it is using all its power to prevent conservatives from getting anywhere. And by extension, that Trump's win was a win against an entity controlling every aspect of public society. That the left hates white people and even wants them killed, which is far beyond the satirical proposal rather than the other way around. In fact, it is apparently even believed by someone in the comments that this representation of what the left believes is the strongest, most defensible representation of their position. Far from being clear satire, if I didn't watch Real and didn't see the disclaimers, I'd believe that this was just another example. In fact, to a degree, I wonder how much of it really was. Thanks for hearing me out. As always, civil discussion, suggestions, and constructive criticism are welcome in the comments or via social media. Feel free to rate, comment, and share. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe and click the bell for notifications, and check out the description for any sources that I've used.